Hello, this is an intro for Star Trek Voyager. Muse. Okay, so the three episodes are Muse, Fury, and Lifeline. Muse and Fury, I don't really remember too much about. I remember conceptually what they're about, but I don't remember any of the details.
I'm
Muse is
with you
all
there.
about. Yeah, I think both of these episodes I've only seen once. Maybe Fury I've seen twice, maybe. That would have been like 5 years ago. It's been a while. Lifeline's really good.
Lifeline is good. I do remember Lifeline. Like you said, I'm not too sure about Fury and Muse myself.
Yeah, well, Lifeline has Robert Picardo in it as two characters, so it's automatically bumped up a few levels. Muse is a B'Elanna Torres episode about theater, which is, I think it's probably good, but it feels forgettable. I don't know. We're gonna watch it again, and I'll see if I'm judging it unfairly, because this has happened multiple times where I don't really remember an episode at all, and when we watch it, it's like, oh yeah, it was actually pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Fury's all about Cass coming back because
Reasons.
I don't know. Yeah, well, so she wasn't kicked off because of the drug use. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought her back.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lifeline is Robert Picardo, and that's all you need to know.
Yep.
So how's the weather? How's England doing?
It's been alright. We got up to a couple more degrees than usual today. And yeah, other than that, still
How's
not
the new
great.
king?
He's doing things. He's got his coronation on the 6th of May.
Oh, he's not even king yet.
Yeah, he's officially
on.
king on the 6th of May. It's like the big thing. Things happening.
So I don't understand the monarchy system you got going there. I would have thought it's just automatic.
It is. So he does get it automatically, but there is a period of time where, although he is technically the king, he isn't actually. He hasn't gone through.
Oh, is this like a Klingon situation
process
where he's sort of de facto the king, but people can come up to him in the council and challenge him?
Not
is that
quite.
What's happening? Can you go fight him?
I don't think I could physically go and fight him.
Well, I mean, he seems old, right? You could probably fight him.
I'm not saying that that's not what I meant. But point is that there's like the ceremonial part of becoming king hasn't happened yet, and that happens in May.
Okay.
Which is almost a year.
I wouldn't know. I'm too American to understand monarchies.
Well, to be fair, I am originally from South Africa, and I've only been living in this country for 2 years. So
does South Africa have a monarchy? I don't know anything about South Africa.
No, no, yes and no.
Other
actually.
than the bad history thing.
So some of the native tribes of South Africa still have their original cultural systems, and they do have their monarchies and stuff. So there is a king of for example, the Zulu culture, which is where I'm from, the area that culture is originally from, and they do still have a king.
Famously, the namesake of Fire Team Zulu from Halo 1 in one mission off screen in one line of dialogue.
Sure. But yeah, but the actual country is just run by a standard democracy.
Okay, cool. Cool. We have our republic system. It doesn't work, but we've got it.
Yeah.
We should get a new one.
You really should. You don't really like changing things over there, do you?
Well, and some people like changing stuff. A lot of people, though. Yeah,
But they change the little stuff. You have to change up the whole system.
Look, we did that once, like 300 years ago.
We haven't changed the system for like.
Hang on. Press play on Muse in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. play it.
Engage.
Look, it's just we changed things up 300 years ago, and that come on,
Your
we're still
country's only
coming down off
300
it.
years old.
God, they're bloody
What?
primitives, but they have a monolith.
Uh,
Headstrong Belana Torres. That's how you intro her. Rude. So they okay. So they clearly don't understand what's happening because they think it's a starship. Or not a starship. They think it's a
it's sea
water
ship.
ship. What do you call those? Boats.
Boat.
I don't know, man. Who works on water ships these days?
It's the Sea Ship Enterprise.
Is that a clipper ship?
Correct reference.
My God, Kellis, you don't make plays about yourself. What kind of... Come on, Shakespeare does not show up in his own plays. Come on. Kellis.
Is she dead yet?
Who, Belana? Belana's not
something
allowed to
on
die
planet.
until she abuses her child.
Mm.
Is that an excellent conceit? That feels like, again, going back to Shakespeare here, at the end of Romeo and Juliet, he just walks in and is like, oh no, I have found two corpses. What a twist. Oh, come on, you can't even make things up with source material. Come on. This guy, is he dressed supposed to be like Roman, kinda?
I guess.
It's a ball? Am I supposed to know what that is? Maybe it's a gem. It's too low resolution. I can't actually see it.
It's just a thing.
It looks kind of shiny. Also, that girl really reminded me of Crewman Cutler. I don't think it was her.
Yeah.
Was it?
It did it did remind me of. We'll have to have a look.
Let me look up who plays
I
Crewman
just
Cutler.
watched an episode of Enterprise with Cutler in it, so I should know.
Oh my god, that is her.
Is it her? Okay.
Yeah, that's Kelly Waymeyer. That's Crewman Cutler. Wow.
Well done. That was good ID.
God, I've watched too much of this show.
And
Wow,
she's
that
not
lady
in
really
that
reminds me of
many.
Belana Torres.
She's not in that many Enterprise episodes as well, which means you've watched a lot of
Because she
Enterprise
freaking
lots of times.
died.
Yeah, well,
Got into a
yes.
car crash or something. That's not funny. It's not. She was good. I liked
It's
Cutler.
not. But yeah. Um the first bit with Phlox and Cutler a bit, and then
It was so romantic how Phlox and her went down to help that species that was dying of a genetic plague, and he told her, "No, the slavery is part of their culture. You have to respect it." And she was like, "I guess you're right, Phlox. That's just how they are with the slavery."
She wasn't massively accepting of it. They just kind of mutually agreed to disagree.
Look, it's not that big of an issue. I think slavery is wrong. You think slavery is really awesome. Let's just agree to disagree. What's the problem? God, Phlox is just, he's so evil in that
And then
one
Phlox
episode.
said, and then he friend zoned himself, and then she was just like, "Well, let's just see what happens."
Well, he lied to her about his culture because he kept telling everybody, "Oh, what's their species called? Denobulans don't like to be touched. We don't really do that sort of stuff. We like our personal space." And then we see Phlox's wife and, all the other Denobulans, and they're all up in everybody's business.
Well, yeah, but that's a Phlox thing.
Phlox was just lying to her about his
Yeah, but
cultures
it's like
because he didn't
when
like
Worf
her.
says Klingons don't do this, and everyone's like, "No, Worf, you don't do that."
What do you mean, like, don't you have a gun? B'Elanna, where's your gun? This is a Delta Flyer, right? Yep,
But
there
I
she is,
was like,
Kelly
"Why?
Windmeyer.
Why?" Nice. Yeah. Why are they?
God, bloody primitives. What's a medkit?
He answered the question. But she answered the question before he asked it. So,
You did. Very
what is
presumptive
it?
of you, B'Elanna. Hand me that sort of...
Round
How would you
thing.
describe it? That sort of horseshoe-shaped thing with the pointy bit at the end? The trigger on it?
But this is like the one thing that's like particularly contaminating for like predator active stuff. Literally watching what to him would be magic.
Maybe the idea is that because she's going to murder him as soon as she gets free, he can't contaminate the rest of the culture. So it doesn't matter what she tells him. Wait, do... No, Klingons don't have clans, they have houses, right?
Yeah.
It's basically a clan.
He pressed a button and just had all the logs. Where's Harry?
Who cares?
He's probably just in the back, asleep.
If he lets B'Elanna die, then he can become the chief engineer.
I think if Harry is asleep in the back, he's probably dead.
Again? God. You didn't treat her wounds, you gave her more wounds. You can't just kidnap people. Would you watch a stage play version of a Star Trek episode? Like, I know a lot of the actors, especially in TNG, are very stagey people.
Yeah, I mean,
Mainly Patrick
if it was the
Stewart.
same actors, sure, I'd definitely do that.
There would be no special effects. It would just be people
Well,
shouting about the
they
dilithium
could do
fracture.
the special effects on like the screen behind them for just like the ship stuff between scenes. It would have to be one of these kinds of episodes, you know. Then you don't need any special effects.
We could probably do False Prophets. That'd be a good
Star
one.
Trek Picard season 4 coming to you soon at your local theater.
Wow. I don't understand. Well, I was going to talk about Picard, but I don't think I can actually.
Yeah, let's stand by on that.
Here, I can talk about season 2 though. Season 2, I really thought it was weird. Okay, so the first episode of season 2, maybe the second episode, where they were like doing their big escape from the Confederation, they stole a ship, and then they got like captured.
Yeah.
I was really expecting Soji to be the one to rescue them. Because, oh, this character's not even in the season yet. She was the main character. What happened? Is the actress out of a job now? Where'd she go? And then she just didn't show up. Well, I don't understand why they just got rid of the actors they made the show about.
Um. Yeah. Well, because season 3.
Good old Majel Barrett.
Mm.
Wait, Bologna, you're free now. Gun. You have a gun. Okay. Shoot him. Does does he think the logs are fiction? My god, Bologna, just shoot him. You're contaminating his culture. When something is contaminated, you purge it with fire.
Mm. I'm gonna go get a drink. Back in a minute.
People in Star Trek really need to shoot each other more. Like, Measure of a Man, stage play or not, it would have been so much faster if if what's his name, Data, just shot Maddox. That'd be so easy. Get rid of him immediately. Oh my god, stop telling it. Jesus, Polana, come on. I guess she's Maquis. She doesn't really do Prime Directive. She kind of, you know, got rid of that whole thing from her life. No, don't take him places.
Overtime.
Okay. I'm wondering, because he said that Bolana was out for like 8 days, now 9 days or more. What's Voyager doing? I assume looking for it, but how far could the shuttle possibly have gotten? I can't tell. It's too blurry, Bolana. No, Bolana, why are you continuing the survey? Oh, no, this isn't the survey. She needs...
She needs dilithium to get the ship running.
Okay. So she still has antimatter, right? She's good? Because worst comes to worst, she can just let the antimatter out. No more cultural contamination, just a big crater. Wow, how convenient. Yes, manipulate the primitives.
No, Captain. I can guarantee you that there are no people on that planet who know about Voyager. Don't just ignore the fact that
Anymore.
I'm missing a photon torpedo.
She used it to power the warp reaction. Don't worry about it.
Now shoot him. This is when you shoot him.
Yes, we have dilithium. It's not exactly in the fancy crystal form, but you know what? Shoot him. I really feel like, based on what he knows already, he should just be able to make it up from here. I don't know why he needs all this,
He's
the actual
obviously not
logs.
actually very good at coming up with stories.
Yeah, he's a trash writer. But at the same time, this episode is clearly the actual writers patting themselves on the back. It's like, oh, look how interesting our story is. People are obsessed with it.
Hmm.
Giving themselves a medal. They're just talking about these over a week later? Or is this a flashback? Also, hang on. We established in an earlier season that all away missions have to have at least 2 people on the shuttle. Where's the other person?
It was Harry, wasn't it?
Is it? So is he just dead?
I don't know where Harry is.
God, Rick Berman, get out of here. Why are you writing these plays? Is this how theater works? Wait, who's this guy playing? Is he Harry? So she's playing
So,
7 of 9. Who's the dude playing? Because who would 7 of 9 be kissing? That doesn't. I'm also curious where he got that information from the log. Okay, now Blahnik, can we leave and shoot him? It's gonna
Well,
work.
there's something happening here.
There is. It's you.
Oh, I was going to say it's all this sci-fi mumbo jumbo.
Oh, it didn't work. Maybe the reason she hasn't murdered him yet is because what if one of the crystals breaks, it doesn't quite work, and she needs another?
yeah.
So she's going to power up the ship, start the thrusters, then murder him and fly away. My god, they don't have metallurgic technology. They're like, what are they, Bronze Age? Yep, Bronze Age. Worthless. The Vulcans. Well, the thing you need to know about the Vulcans is they're the worst, and
They're
you should
space
never
elves.
have them on the ship.
Races.
But if you do have Vulcans on the ship, it helps to deter the Neelixes.
Does it
But
though?
what if
Because
the Neelix and the Vulcan became one?
gross.
That sounds speciest.
God, freaking Vulcans, they're always better than us at everything.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, I bet Vulcan poetry is horrendous.
I feel like Vulcan poetry would be like Data's poetry.
I
Velas
bet they wouldn't be.
Catus.
Their dreams too.
I bet they wouldn't be able to appreciate Shakespeare and the original Klingon. It's an original weird. I don't know why.
They would hate Shakespeare. Everyone in Shakespeare's plays acts crazy. Nobody does anything logical. They would hate it. They're
Also,
very Klingon.
they would find the writing style illogical.
You can't just make up words, dude. What are you doing?
You know what? Another thing. What
Oh, he's playing Tuvok. Wait, so was it? No, Tuvok doesn't cry. Is this the writers critiquing themselves, or more accurately critiquing Gene Roddenberry? That Vulcans don't make sense?
Look, all I'm saying is that Star Trek would be wonderful in ancient Greece.
It would be what? Greece? What?
What?
The this that
No, this
that
is like
gang
one of the
movie?
ancient Greek performance in an amphitheater.
Oh, Greece as in the country, not Greece as in those people
Yes,
in leather
yes,
jackets.
ancient elbow grease. That's what Star Trek would be great in. To slather everyone up in grease.
Well, we do have at least one gangster-focused episode, like the musical Grease.
There's no gangsters in Greece.
Isn't Grease about gangs?
Not really, no.
I've never actually seen Grease. What's Grease about?
It's about John Travolta trying to be cool while also having the hots for some British lady.
But they wear leather though, right?
They wear leather jackets, yes. They're in
Close enough.
it's a couple of boys being boys.
Yes, you do. It's called a gun. I didn't hear what the problem was, but it can probably be solved with a gun.
Well, don't use Janeway as a character. She'll probably tell them to shoot everyone.
Isn't that all Star Trek captains?
No, just Janeway and Cisco.
What's just Janeway and Cisco?
They always start conflicts.
Voting for conflict.
Yeah.
Picard and Archer were a little bit better about
Archer was
trying
pretty
to
big
not.
on conflict.
Yeah.
Kirk was
Except
big
in
on
season
conflict.
3. Well, the second half of season 3. Are they not concerned about the fact she's clearly a different species? Is that all fine?
Well, they don't know different species. She's clearly just deformed.
Rude.
No, there we go. Kim
Oh,
got
cool.
out in an escape pod.
God, look at Crew
I mean,
McCullough
I'm
over there
sorry.
looking
All
all
I'm thinking
jealous.
is just the one line. Who are you? I hail from ancient Greece.
Oh, you wanted a Harry Kim episode about mistaken identity. You should try one of those ones where he goes to the planet of women who are trying to seduce him and then sacrifice him. That's a good one.
Maybe he gets promoted.
I don't know if the audience would believe that. They don't even write their own plays. They just steal other people's stories.
Like that Billy Shakes guy.
Shakespeare's a very strange man, from what I can tell.
Well, was.
What do you mean?
Shakespeare.
What do you mean was and not is?
You said it is a strange man.
Yeah, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to tell me?
All I'm going to say is I've been to his house and it doesn't look like it's currently livable.
Okay, now who's he playing? I cannot keep
Okay.
track of which actor is
It's
playing which
Janeway and
character.
Chakotay.
Oh, they're
I
making a
just
play
showed up. I
about
have no
the.
idea what's going on, and I know what's going on.
So they're making a play about the episode with the monkey planet? Is that what's happening?
No, he's taking creative liberties.
Unless it's Paris and Janeway.
Gross.
There was an episode that happened.
But they
I'll
were
be honest.
salamanders at the time. It doesn't count.
I remember primarily a lot of Star Trek, Voyager. My mind goes blank. All I know is nothing.
Yeah, Voyager is I don't think it got as many reruns as like the other shows. So we didn't get to I didn't get any
What do you mean? You
rewatches.
can run it as many times as you want on Paramount Plus.
So apparently Harry's dead, according to Chakotay.
Oh, thank God.
Is this a dagger I see before me? The handle before my hand. Come, let me clutch thee.
Oh my God, he hails from ancient Greece.
What's with you and Greece? Everything's about Greece.
Because this entire episode is just them putting on a Greek tragedy.
Well, Ryan posted this wonderful a link of Kunk doing the interview for Shakespeare, and he was pointing out that it kind of parallels Shakespeare more than anything else. But
well, they are dressed more Greek than like Shakespeare in Victorian era.
So one of the things your Kunk video got wrong. Well, I mean, I don't think we should.
It's a comedy. It got everything wrong. That's the point.
We shouldn't rely on it for accuracy. But it said that he invented the genre of tragedy, and so tragedy and comedy were Greek plays. That's why the masks.
Yes, that was one of the jokes.
Okay, but I'm sure he invented the other genres. Also, then I like the genre of Shakespearean play. He invented that too.
But I like the comment that school is much easier in Shakespeare's time because they didn't have to learn Shakespeare.
Yes.
All I'm hearing from you, Chief, is that you can only appreciate Star Wars in the original Shakespeare.
There is a Shakespearean version of Star Wars.
There is. You can get it and read it. It's wonderful. For example, Yoda speaks entirely in haikus.
God, of course he does.
Hey, E.T., you were saying something?
Was I?
I don't think so.
I think the three of us were all speaking. So I feel like it does parallel Shakespeare a lot. I think Ryan's analogy is very apt because, of course, it is more like a Greek amphitheater. But I have been
Everything's all made of stone.
Yeah,
they're wearing tunics.
They're doing the whole math thing.
It's an amphitheater more than a globe for sure. Theater, but and by the way, I've been to Italy, and then we also went to Sicily in 2005. Like the person I went with. And we went to Syracuse, which is on the very tip of Sicily at the end. Like if you keep going south, you'll hit Africa. So it's at the very end of the Mediterranean, basically, the European side. And
I'm aware of Italy. Yes,
they have a Greek amphitheater carved out of stone. The quarry is all around you, so like it's not hard. Like where are you gonna cut the rock out from? And where are you going to place this? But you can really hear from all the way in the back if you just project because they built it with the increasing height of the benches.
I really hope the Borg assimilate Kellis.
So, but this is Shakespeare in the sense that he's the bard, and if he doesn't like get his patron to give him money, they're not going to have job or food come next week, so they have to like please their patron, which is why he's stealing stories, and whatever he comes up with is not half as good. But so
oh my God, is he about to quote an actual Star Trek episode? She makes an alliance. Is that the sudden reversal? I think
Oh, that's interesting. He's very.
I love how the whole thing is Janeway's bloodthirst, and he just towards this whole thing is that Janeway's trained not to be violent.
Another.
So he basically just did the entire episode with Janeway's alliance with the Borg,
Yep.
Except he took out the blackmail part, and I feel like that was important.
Oh well.
He's not that good of a playwright yet.
Yeah. Never was
He
there
also
a tale.
doesn't, because I think Torres has painted Janeway in a very positive light when it comes to things.
Is that a threat, or is he talking about the play?
He's talking about the
Talking
play, of
about the
course.
play.
Because never was there a tale of such woe, of gift of
Imagine
playwright,
if he,
and therefore no.
imagine if he did just go, and Belana Torres died tragically and just like got her in the back with a spear or something.
Believe it or not, that's the plot for a Simpsons episode.
So here's the thing: they're pre-warp, but
Oh,
they
is that
know
Harry Kim?
They're
they
Bronze
know all
Age.
about
Oh no.
they know about spacefaring civilizations like the Borg.
It's definitely not Harry Kim.
Wait, who knows about the Borg?
I'm saying these people, the alien race
Oh,
here.
she just explained to him who the Borg were.
Okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't really get it. He still thinks they're just some
Across the
dudes with a
sea.
boat.
Oh, okay. They're just bad guys.
They're Bronze Age.
They're just Hun, basically. Okay.
They don't
They're
really
literally,
understand
they hail from
space.
ancient Greece. That's the whole.
So, one of the crazy things about Shakespeare and that folio that they showed was that we have like multiple folios of Shakespeare, and then then there's the quartet, and so there's no so as far as we can tell, this guy was just like haphazardly writing the lines before the play.
Huh,
The actors
that's
would
Harry.
have
Oh,
to.
Harry.
He's alive. Oh, he's
Harry!
alive.
Now
That-
Harry will have the strength to do what must be done. Detonate the core. Wait, so are they gonna pick up the escape pod too? Because I feel like they need that.
Well, it's a 200-kilometer walk, so.
By the way, walking at night through a jungle is way more dangerous than walking during the day. So,
Well, if he did it during the day, he would get seen and probably
No,
murdered.
but if a jaguar murders you by clamping down on your throat,
This is
So-
fantasy. This is sci-fi Greece. It could be anything. There's no animals in the jungle.
So he landed 200 kilometers away, and it's
And
been
walk.
10 days. So he's been walking 20 kilometers per day.
you could do that
Yeah, it can be done.
He's been doing it at night specifically.
at night too.
So 12 miles per day, say
Uh-huh.
30 minutes per mile because it's somewhat rough terrain.
Yeah,
It can be done.
it's not great, and you can do it continuously. But yeah,
No,
also
I
like
was,
I said,
I was thinking it's a surprisingly low amount to walk per day in this situation. Like he should have
he's
pushed
thinking-
himself
No,
more.
you can. No, you
Yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah. If you have 12 hours to walk, yeah, you really should have done more time.
This isn't a casual stroll, Harry. There are lives on the line.
And so all the
It would be really funny if he'd started walking, and by the time he got there, she'd managed to fix the Delta Flyer and just left.
Bye, Harry.
So these plays, they probably had a different script each time, and the best evidence we had is like it was like what the next generation of actors compiled together, and
The
that's what
next
we
generation.
had of folio and quartet. I'm doing the whole channeling thing, but so we don't even like the original. Like, what were the plays that were being performed? We only have like a vague idea.
Apparently, according to one guy, they've gotten really lazy and they've like fallen into just doing the same thing over of having a twist and whatnot. So all I can think of is just if Greek tragedies were just the bare bone of what you expect in a play. There's
No,
a
but here-
death, there's a reveal, bada bing, bada boom, and story.
No, but see, this is so accurate because you have like wonderful costumes, wonderful masks. I read that, like they put so much money into the costumes because they didn't have special effects. So you would have like the person dressed in like real silk outfits if she was a queen, let's say. Because you have to make it believable. But then there's of course the element there's people talking, drinking beer with their kids running around. There was so much chaos. It's not at all. It was amazing, like that this is the greatest work of literature that our civilization has, in the sense that like so much characters, emotions, and thoughts and intentions are expressed in words.
What? Wait, what's
Shakespeare.
no this
Tupac.
He
why
hasn't
is
been
he showing?
sleeping
What
for
does this have
days,
to do with
and
the rest of the story? What is this scene?
apparently, when he was talking to Neelix, he said that Vulcans don't need to sleep for at least 2 weeks. I guess he reached his limit.
Mhm.
See, they're not better than us in every way. Freaking
I mean, we already
Vulcans.
covered that when we talked about how they would probably hate Shakespeare. I mean, can you imagine a Vulcan writing a rom-com? If it was up to the Vulcans, there'd be
Good
no
thing.
Hallmark Channel.
Good thing there were no Borg nearby.
Wait, Tom, why do you have to do that? Where's the rest of the crew?
I don't know. Maybe Janeway ate them. An L-class planet.
L class? Isn't that like barely habitable?
No, L class is the one down from M class. It's
No,
usually
I
a little
think
bit more
like
different
rocky.
oxygen levels and more rocky.
Mhm.
I usually associate them with being colder as well. So I think that's just because of the way they're usually portrayed.
Andoria is L class probably.
Probably.
And Andorra, I think
I
is
also still don't understand how Andoria works because sometimes it's being described as like a shared system with Tiller, and
Mhm.
sometimes they're mortal enemies in different star systems.
Mhm.
Maybe we could ask Crewman Cutler here. She would know.
I think
My mind is blown. 7 of 9 is the queen of the Borg.
Yeah.
Technically, Crewman Cutler has played a Borg.
and they
Is
don't even
she?
understand what the Borg is, by the way.
No, it's just
Oh,
some
in
foreign
this
army
context.
sign.
But you'll be assimilated.
Just wear a black mask and that makes you Borg.
I'm surprised that's not how the story goes.
Hey, this is much
Look,
better.
Until
the
Picard season 1 for a
the
couple
oth-
minutes.
the other thing implied here is that like Gene Roddenberry had an alien tied up on the shuttlecraft, and he was just stealing stories from you know uh to Paul's grandmother or something.
All I'm hearing is that I would love to see this sort of playwright being done with other Star Trek iterations. Do you think they'd be able to,
Stop.
encompass
So
Cisco's rage?
just no, I'm thinking Discovery and New World and all that, and
Oh no,
you
dear
couldn't
God!
you couldn't put it in a simple Greek mythology motif. I mean, you would have to do the whole Odyssey to get to like Discovery.
I mean, isn't Voyager just Odyssey?
Yeah, Voyager is Odyssey.
See, I know things. I ain't just empty-headed,
You've
despite
had
what the
a
doctors think.
you've had a long time to know things.
Ah,
Yeah, Balana, why do you care?
See, there was a
Yeah,
scene
Harry.
before.
or
Go
if
ahead.
you agree with Harry, you're on the wrong track.
Yeah, you've completely lost the plot in
I
life.
definitely agree with Harry.
Yeah. Just
Oh, because
Balana,
seriously,
just
start,
leave.
start the
there
Delta
was
Flyer and just leave.
no, you missed the scene earlier when she was in the amphitheater, and well, actually, you guys talked about it. When he's like, "Oh, I'll just tragically clear it off," and she's like, "No way, you will not do that." So
Yeah,
she's
and
attached
why does she
to
care?
she's
Lana.
attached to the plot because you know what? It's like if they make a movie about you, you actually want to make sure they get someone cute. You want to make sure you're not cast in a terrible light. So this girl's a great actress, by the way. The person who plays Bolano, like she would have been a great.
Wait a second. Did anyone else see those helmets?
No, but with the Centurions.
Really channeling Captain Janeway here. This lady gets it.
Yeah, so this scene actually shows this guy has like no original talent. He has no way of actually finishing the story. So,
Are you guys ready for another Prime Directive violation?
No. This is no. This falls under the improv exception to the Prime Directive.
That would track. The Prime Directive only applies when they feel like it.
I mean, what is Starfleet gonna do?
This is This is called improv. You don't appreciate improv. Because that's the thing, everybody else is like, what's going on? And these two know it's exactly what's going on.
See, look at those helmets. Look at those goofy guard helmets.
They only had enough money for like the set costumes for this episode. They were not going to hammer out helmets that fit guards.
I know, but look at how they're designed. They're literal.
All the money went into makeup and costume for the main actors and the stage characters.
I know, but they had a choice. They could have just,
They just put a lampshade. They just put a lampshade. Listen, you're not supposed to pay. There's drama unfolding, right? Like we did. This girl was trying to call out B'Elanna, and instead they improv their way out of it, like any good improv actor should.
Bronze Age brute can't see the fact he's a different species right in front of his eyes.
Listen, this is not first contact because they think it's improv.
It's not first contact because clearly she's an Eternal, as they just said. And as everyone knows, no one has seen the movie The Eternals.
And she's going to dematerialize in thin air, but that's just going to be like, don't worry about it. That's just the special effects we have for your theater tonight. You know, I when I was a kid in 7th grade, we went to Boston, and we went to the restaurant that had a play about the Civil War while you were eating dinner. So it was kind of cool.
Damn Yankees.
Yeah, it was a badass. This guy's great.
You can't do that, B'Elanna.
This guy's great.
I really hope the last 30 seconds of this episode are B'Elanna being restricted to quarters for 30 days, just like bloody Tom was. Put in the brig. Because you can't do that.
Yeah, but she's just not going to tell Janeway.
So,
and Harry...
But like TNG, they say, oh no, our scanners show there's a bunch of those primitives around her. We can't beam them up. Surely they saw.
I'm not saying that she did what she did was right. I'm saying that she's just not going to tell Janeway that she did it.
No, and what I'm saying is she shouldn't have to, because they should have seen the regular species on the sensors, like they have done every previous time they wanted to beam up in the middle of Randos.
No, she beamed back to the flyer.
Oh, we'll forgive it like this, all right? Tuvok was in the chair. He's sleep deprived. He's not paying attention.
I think she just beamed back to the flyer.
Chakotay relieves Tuvok on the bridge too.
But they were in contact with Voyager.
All right, listen, all right. If you want to pick out every logical problems in Star Trek, especially Voyager, we'll be here all day. You remember the heart of this back when this was about... I forgot what series I was originally here for.
So
it's not about watching the show, it's about talking over it.
DS9. Yeah. You were here during DS9.
We all just need to accept that Star Trek doesn't make sense in general.
Okay, so the funny thing is
don't worry about it.
We're the idiot audience that'll believe these silly stories as long as they'll put them on the play. And we are. And so then the other thing is, though, the thing when he says, oh, and these stories will continue as long as our patrons are generous. So Paramount Studios was an offshoot of Desilu, which is Lucy from I Love Lucy. And so Paramount became...
And the patrons stopped being generous 5 years later.
And for like Star Trek has grossed over $1 billion for, its patron Paramount Studios.
All right, Furry, Fury. You press play on Fury in 4, 3, 2, 1, play. There's no furries involved.
I mean, this would be an interesting episode if it was called Furry.
Well,
so
I'm sure there's a lot of people in the chat that are disappointed that no furries are in this episode. Would you consider a Tellarite
at least one
furry?
cat species?
They're very
No Vacations are furries.
20 years.
Oh, the cat species?
Yeah.
You guys are just confusing me.
I'm always confused. You just remove it.
I don't need to be confused about
Haitians are cats and therefore furries. That's how it works.
So funny. I want pink cats. I want the original Haitians.
I know.
Apparently, this is the only hint that Tuvok has space dementia. Even though that's not what Janeway's talking about. That's what Tuvok thinks she's talking about.
I mean, Janeway, actress is wonderful, but right now I hear less space captain, more like evil witch about to eat a child.
Well, that's just Kate Mulgrew.
So, a common theme, especially of like the first 6 original series movies, was like them getting old. And TNG's getting there too. I've never been so happy to see so many wrinkles.
Okay, I just want to say real quick while it's on screen, that cake looks gross.
I want to eat that cake.
I think it looks delicious.
But it's all like
really
that
wanna
hard,
eat it.
crusty fondant. It's not actual frosting.
It's fondant. It's fondant that's been airbrushed with edible metallic stuff. So it's estimated that the franchise of Star Trek has grossed 10.6 billion in revenue.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of tacos.
Yeah, but expenses too. But yeah. So
wait, what kind of ship was that?
That's
it was the ship from
flyer.
the future
What's
one.
revenue?
It's what's his face's ship?
The time ship.
Yeah.
The Federation time ship Relativity. Oh god, it is. That's the same.
Oh my god.
That's the that's the
it's
Captain
the one.
Braxton.
It is the one. Yeah, Braxton's ship.
Oh, okay, good.
Not on the outside, I don't think.
I thought it was the
inside.
TNG guy, the funny guy, who
No, it's not Max.
Century.
Rasmussen.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be him. I was hoping Cass ripped him to shreds, and then just stole his ship. So they used the shot twice, and I thought at first like she crashed the shuttle into the ship, but even when she doesn't crash the shuttle into she does it twice, and so she doesn't she's just tearing apart the bulkheads for fun too. She's not even crashing the shuttle per se.
Well, I thought they would when he said what was it, something.
Yeah, she did crash. I mean, she accelerated.
She crashed this time. You're saying later on she's just pulling.
What's interesting here is that the actress, what's her name for Kes?
Kes.
I was gonna say right here in the credits.
Well, it'll say guest starring and not principally starring. Big mystery. So what were you saying, Robo?
I was gonna say like they didn't need to do any old age makeup. That's just what happened to her since she got booted from the show. They screwed up my Taco Bell order. What can I say? All right.
I wonder if they kept Kes on the show, would they have done the old person makeup, or would they just hand waved it away? I bet they would just have her look like Jennifer Lean normal after 7 years on the show.
You guys are so messed up.
They would come up with a reason that she's not dead by the end of the show, because
they have.
If you think about it, she would be quite an old.
I don't know. They have a few episodes.
The doctor would come up with something.
Yeah, he just de-age her every season.
Alternatively, she gets one look at Earth and then immediately dies at the very end.
Or like heroically sacrifices herself for the last episode.
For plot convenience, yes.
And then everyone goes, "Oh well, she was going to die tomorrow anyway."
Lien, lean.
Oh, like that Klingon that had space dementia, where he was basically dead anyway, so he just sacrificed himself.
There's a Klingon with space age dementia.
Yeah, he was a Dahar master. He had a name. Martok hated him. I don't know his name. Also, yes, Vaughn Armstrong is in the credits.
Core.
So that guy on the left, that's Lieutenant Ayala.
Core, King, and Koloth were the three.
Oh,
old
core!
Klingons.
I thought you were just trying to, explain something like core.
Yes,
No,
it was
Core-
Core.
Core was the
Core,
guy's
the
name.
old Klingon with space dementia.
The Dahar Master.
Alright.
They put a lot of money into special effects for this episode.
Guess kind of just looks like a space wizard now. Actually, not even a space wizard, just a normal wizard.
Why,
I think it's
Vagat?
the
You've
cape.
got a gun. Shoot her.
No, they've been trying.
It doesn't seem
Have
to
they,
be
though?
working.
They
So
just
why
stand there with a gun
fucking-
pointed at her and wait for her to attack them. If
Look,
they
look.
just fired, they'd be fine.
Don't touch that.
I mean,
This
if you
is the-
weren't supposed to touch it, you should probably have more than just a railing around it.
I don't think. You would think
Balana,
common
have you
sense would
tried
prevail.
shooting her?
Common sense. What is Star Trek? There's no such thing as common sense.
So the only other creature I can think of that feeds off the warp core's energy is that space ravioli thing, the baby that they have to
Oh
tell that.
yeah, I remember
So
that.
is that what Kess?
So what
Did
you're saying is
Kess-
they need to change the frequency of the warp core to sour the milk.
But did Kess technically shoot Balana with an antimatter weapon?
I have no
No, she
idea.
like split the air between them or something.
Still not
No.
fully
I mean
getting it.
the second time.
I don't know, but
I'm gonna be honest. I thought she was going to drain the core and become young. Oh wait, no, she just.
Wow,
The second
you
you
called
say it.
So to cure old people, to cure oldism, you just need energy.
I mean, yeah, it's called being
You
a
know,
vampire. You do.
have you guys heard of
no,
sunning?
no.
You know what
She's not
sunning
cured.
is? Sunning
She's
is
not
when
young.
you
She's
tan
using a
your.
glamour.
She's gone into the past.
Do you know what sunning is, Ryan?
Do I know what?
He's
Sunning, sunning.
I assume that's when you go out into the sun and just sort of exists.
Yeah, but there's this like new age treatment that like you go and you tan your perineum, which is like the space.
Oh my
between
God! Why
your
are you?
gland
Why are
thing,
you?
And
why
you
are
just tan that for.
Is
and then-
this related to the
Okay.
episode?
So what you said?
Okay.
You said
Just-
she's like tanning
I-
herself basically. In the,
If there had been a
No.
line for which
So,
one of us would have brought
she
up
didn't-
tanning, I don't think you would have been the one that would have. Yeah.
She hasn't gotten younger. She just used a glamour. Okay, it's an illusion.
Is this a
She's using an
disguise? Like
illusion.
she's doing the
Yes.
Palpatine thing where she looks younger, but she's
Right.
actually all old and evil and wrinkled.
Yes.
and
Why he
gaunt?
looked
But
like
she-
that
but she's
because
going
he
into
burned
the
himself
past.
in lightning.
But going
gone
into
to
the
the past.
past doesn't make you younger in Star Trek lore.
No, it doesn't. But it almost
She
sounds
disguised
like
herself.
she-
You saw it happen when she gets to the
Yes.
past. She disguised
But what happened
herself.
to the actual Kess that is in
Yeah,
this
she-
time?
Oh,
frame?
she's on
She's here
board.
too. She's going to show up
She's-
as well.
She's still
Okay.
here.
the slingshot.
She said she was in the hydroponic. He said it was in the hydroponic.
That's why. That's
There
why
she
she
is.
needed the hypo spray so she could come over here and sedate her and put her in one of these cargo containers,
Okay.
as we're about to
Alright.
see.
Oh, all right. Because I don't remember. I don't remember anything from Voyager. Next Generation, sure. Original, sure.
You know,
If you're,
I'll always
if you're
remember,
writing a sci-fi franchise, never allow time travel. It just breaks everything.
I love the
Yeah.
time travel episodes in Star Trek. They're so goofy.
No,
and
that-
educating.
That's
Why?
why you have
But-
those episodes where it's like a primitive Earth culture on a different planet, like the planet of cowboys or the planet of gangsters. It's not actually time
That's true.
travel.
That is easier to deal with.
Just because it's
But then,
easier.
but TOS did both, so
Yeah.
TOS
What
did
is
that
that?
because they had those sets on the Paramount backlot, and they needed
was rather
to
handy.
save money.
Is
No,
that a
you know something-
cheeseburger without the top bun?
And how
Something
many
else-
times did TOS find just an
Oh,
exact
no.
replica of Earth?
It's season
Not
one Neelix
exact,
again. He's
it's
going to
just-
be a creep to the child. Oh, no.
Sometimes it's in the 20s, sometimes it's in the ancient Roman times, sometimes it's Nazi children. You know,
Nazi
Are we
children.
allowed to talk about the time that a Star Trek officer made a Nazi planet?
Yeah, so sometimes it's just Nazis, sometimes it's like abandoned children.
The Nazi planet one was so weird because the way they describe it, yeah, we made it a Nazi planet because Nazi Germany was just so efficient. We didn't think they'd go to the authoritarian parts.
Who'd have thunk?
It's like, come on.
We're just gonna.
Was that Gene Roddenberry admiring Nazi Germany?
I have no idea.
I mean, so they have an expression about Mussolini. At least he made the trains run on time.
But he didn't, though.
Yeah, but the idea is that, like, look, under the whatever, if you're a capitalist or a socialist, under whatever system we're living in, at least when we had the fascists, everything was on time.
Yeah, but it's usually
But that's-
wrong.
So what
It's
I'm hearing
objectively
is,
untrue.
Fascists are bad at running things.
so what I'm hearing is, you should only care if the trains run on time.
I think.
Well,
Okay, so go ahead, Robo.
as far as Italy goes, they may have gotten rid of the fascism, but they kept the corruption, and nothing
much.
runs on time because everyone has to be bribed.
I mean, if we just eliminate a large portion of the population, there will be less traffic.
Trains are a big thing in
Okay,
the US.
Thanos.
In the US, it's all privatized. In the UK, it's mostly like government owned, and both have serious problems.
Not the train system. A lot of that's been privatized.
Yeah, it's true. In the 80s and
Star Trek bringing us together to talk about infrastructure and transportation.
Of course.
I love the history of the American train system, where two massive corporations
So let me tell you about this guy
become
called
super
Vanderbilt.
rich.
Yep, and
Star Trek is by definition about transportation. It's right there in the title, Star Trek.
Oh my God! As they go on a trek across the stars, I get it now.
They're
Finally,
astronauts.
It all
on
makes sense.
some kind
Some
of
kind of
Star
Star
Trek.
Trek.
that was the only time Trek was mentioned in TNG.
Is it?
I think
Is
Q
it the,
said Trek Among the Stars? I think in the final episode.
Can we have a Control F on all Star Trek dialogue and see how many times?
Well,
Trek
again, I
is-
don't have anything past Enterprise, so if they say it in the new shows, I'll have no idea.
All I'm thinking about now,
I
real
just said
quick,
TNG.
because
The Big Five
Voyager's
is
whole
fine.
thing is about because Voyager's whole thing is about them going home. All I can imagine now is them trying to fit into the first episode. Them saying like, "So what? We're on some kind of Star Trek now."
So, Lost in Space was like the thing for Voyager, like the precursor. So that's what Trek is about.
No, they're Packlets. They are far from home.
Hey, Mr. Dino.
We need to find things that can make us go.
Welcome to the stream.
True.
I miss the Packlet. Whatever happened to them?
They bombed their own
Apparently
world.
they
That's what
did
happened to
themselves.
them.
They started a massive interstellar empire and then destroyed themselves.
It's like typical Packlets.
Lore was involved too, I think, at some point because he was wearing their outfit.
How does lore was picked up by the Packlets. How does a species like the Packlets become spacefaring?
All I can think of is an alien crashed their ship, asked for help, and the Packlets, just
It still doesn't make sense.
Data was trying to argue in Samaritan Snare that no, they're not actually stupid. They just talk a little funky. But I think we've pretty well established that's not true. The Packlets are just dumb.
No, they're not, because they were clever enough to kidnap Geordi.
No,
yeah, but did you see the back half of the episode?
They're not technologically sophisticated, but they are fully aware of how to. They need stuff that is better than what they have, and they know how to get it.
I think wouldn't their thing is that they're not fully developed to where they're supposed to be space age, so maybe your brain's just not fully formed.
No, but you know what? It's a psychological thing too, where somebody may not be the most eloquent verbally. Like, for example, I grew up watching Star Trek, so people have always said like, "Wow, your command of vocabulary is pretty amazing." But yeah, I grew up with Jean-Luc Picard as my daily source of entertainment. But there's plenty of people who may just have a technical intelligence or whatever.
Oh, all right, fascinating. Also, did I miss it? Are we getting signs of Tuvok speech dementia?
Not that I've seen so far. Well, there was that one part in the very, very beginning.
He was just worried look on his face, and he said, "Oh, I was must be thinking of a different ship. That's all I got.
No, it's not his dementia. Remember, he said Delta Flyer, and Kess traveled back in time into season 1 with the Acampa or whatever. So they don't know what the Delta Flyer is.
All right, I'm not paying attention to the episode.
No worries. No, it's a great episode actually. We should watch it.
So I've been scrolling through all the scripts, which is really annoying, by the way, because every single one of them says Star Trek as a copyright, blah blah blah. I found lots of instances of them saying the word Trek, but they're all last time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is,
that doesn't count.
look, if they
So
don't
in
As
say
far as I can tell, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek is the only time they say Trek at all.
so what I'm hearing is,
So not a common word.
but how are we supposed to know this is Star Trek if they never say the words Star Trek in Star Trek?
You said it was. Was it good enough for you?
It's kind of amazing that it became like a great show. It's kind of the title is not what I would have picked at all. I don't know what I would have picked. I mean, Trek is Trek makes you think of Oregon Trail.
The word Trek is only used by people who think too highly of themselves and how much they hike.
Oh, I say it's a nice, quick way of getting the thing in. They're in space. They're on a trek across the stars. Trek is a weird word, but it works. Star Wars, War in the Stars.
Yeah. You wouldn't think like Space Navy.
Tuvok, shoot the child. She's not supposed to be here.
Apprehend the child.
He was good on a child.
Tuvok, stop following the child.
No, okay, he's not following a child.
Kill
He's
her.
the security officer, and
Who's following the child?
Who's never seen the child before because he's from
as
an
the kids would say, as Naomi Wildman, being a kid herself, might say, she's sus.
Yeah. There's something like, in other words, there's no children on this ship. So what's the child doing here?
To be fair, if you walked into the cargo bay and there were a whole bunch of Borg regenerating, you would freak out.
Yeah. Lieutenant Carey, the writers remembered you exist.
Wow.
Yeah, they remember he
good
existed
for you.
Just a few episodes before the finale so they could kill him.
Yeah, he's only here because this is supposed to be in the past.
Yeah.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear.
Wasn't he like
Wait,
second in
did he
command of
actually say
engineering?
sweeting?
Yeah, until they forgot about him.
Did the subtitle there said hello sweeting? Like
Yeah,
as
he's
in,
gross.
did he really say sweeting? Not
He
sweeting?
does.
Is that
If you
just
look at the subtitles, that's literally what he says.
That's I mean, I'm just thinking that I'm disbelieving the subtitles.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, following a child is nothing compared to Neelix.
What's that bust behind Kess? Is that the Blessed Exchequer? There's like a... It looks weird.
Kess here does the shadiest thing. She's like contacting Voyager's enemies to destroy them.
Yeah, that's
so shady.
Oh,
by the way, to the Vidians, no less, by the way. So she wants
Vaughn,
them
is that you?
parts.
That's Vaughn. Hey, Vaughn.
What the hell are you up to, Blondie?
Like, why would you, like, okay, we know Kess has the power to like destroy the ship through the sheer force of her will, but she wants them harvested by the Vidians. That's how mad she is.
Why is she mad? Is it because Neelix called her basically Splenda? Part of the ship.
Did they,
part of
though?
the crew.
You left.
That's
You
part of the
chose
space
to
dementia,
leave.
right? She just
Asked
forgot.
to leave, and she said yes. You forgot about that.
Oh, for a second I thought you turned her
the Ocampa
past
shelf.
self into fertilizer.
The Ocampa shelf.
It's like the Borg baby shelf.
She just turned into nitrogen.
Oh,
How convenient that it
Picard's
fits
uniform.
her
No.
height perfectly.
I'm looking at the uniform. What the hell material is that? That just looks weird.
Yeah, civilian
still kinda
Voyager,
see it.
civilian Star Trek clothing is supposed to be like, I've never seen that before.
It's very colorful.
It's very cosmic.
Certainly, yeah.
Sweater,
I mean,
kinda.
from my experience, it all looks like carpets from the 70s.
Yeah, and the woven together, like multiple layers.
So Tuvok is suffering from his space dementia, so he's seen things.
No, he's 100% right. Because the way Janeway finds out is because she orders the doctor to tell him that she has a baby, and he's like, "That's not your business." And she goes, "No, I need to know for security." So you're not crazy if you can.
Oh, right. Vulcans actually are supposed to be psychic. So he might not be crazy.
Over here, it's more like he has a Guinan knows we're in the wrong timeline with the wrong quantum signature.
It's almost like there's a. I mean, he had a connection with Kess, right? So maybe it's something to do with
That's
the
what
fact
it
that.
is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because it makes no sense for him to have like
But
sensitivity.
Kess never met the Borg children.
No, but he has a connection to Kess, and
She
Kess has now
ruptured
been
the
to the
space-time
future.
continuum. Yeah.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
This is why you don't introduce time travel to your sci-fi franchise.
Yeah.
So I just turn off my brain with Star Trek. That's why my favorite episodes are the holodeck and time travel ones.
This is why you don't meditate with
Hugh's
Jean
rule
Grey.
of don't provoke the Borg. It's like we should tell the writers don't provoke time travel.
No, time travel is not the problem. The problem is Jean Grey over
Time
here.
travel is absolutely the problem.
She just likes ripping people.
It's a huge problem.
Jean Grey is just like angry all the time, and that's like.
Damn
Remember how the Emperor discovered time travel in Star Wars Rebels, and then they had to immediately blow it up because of the plot implications?
Yeah.
Wait, but
I don't know that, but I'm happy that they did that because
it's my job to know everything. So in Star Wars Rebels, it's okay. Anyway, turns out there's a magical force hallway that's time travel, and Palpatine was looking for it, and to stop him from getting it, they blew it up.
Yes.
And they used it to save the fan favorite character who was gonna die. So they had to introduce time travel.
You guys are talking about time
Star
travel
Wars
and the TOS. So I wanted to say the slingshot effect, which is used in TOS.
Doesn't make sense.
But movies and everything. Hey, it makes complete sense in the context of the show. In the context of the show. So
the best form of time travel is Superman flying backwards.
same
If
principle.
anything, that would make you go further forward in time because of the time dilation.
So the thing is that it comes from real life. So in the 70s, we had the Pioneer 2 spacecraft, and it used the slingshot effect. It used the gravity of Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, and Neptune.
Every mission we do to send anything anywhere uses a slingshot effect.
Yeah, to go a little faster and faster and faster. So
in the case of the probe, sending a probe to the sun, we use it the other direction.
Correct.
Slow things down.
Correct. Thank you. So, but the thing is, though, it's really cool though that obviously, like, it's a NASA pioneered it with the Pioneer 2 spacecraft, which went out of our solar system for the first time.
Janeway, if you need to know this, if you really need to know, just ask her.
Yeah. No, but she's violating HIPAA here.
Yeah.
Doctor, what are you? You can't tell her.
He just walks out.
At that moment, when she said this is a matter of security, it sort of sounded like she was being a space racist.
Did Janeway disable his ethical subroutines? Again?
Oh, something about the security of the ship. Anyway.
But it's amazing we use the slingshot effect in real life. Not for time travel, but for...
Listen, all right.
I'm glad you clarified.
President, we will get to the moon.
But it was kind of fun learning that. That's where it comes from.
TOS, it's their understanding of science makes it kind of hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Listen, all right.
I started watching one episode, and they started talking about, Lieutenant, what's your Esper rating? I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
Esper rating. What's Esper rating?
ESP is
how psychic you are.
Oh, and what was this in?
It was from an episode of TOS, and they talked about it like, some people can predict the future a little bit, or they can see things that are on cards that are in a different room. It's like,
Right.
nope,
They actually
no,
use
I'm
Xander
out.
cards. I remember
That's
learning
what
about those
happens
things.
when you get your information from those old scientists.
Another fact, though, of TOS, right? And since I'm using the word fact in universe, when you cross the barrier of the galactic barrier, you have psychic effects because that all messes with your ESP.
Yeah. Of course.
But can you answer one question for me? What does God need with a starship?
Yeah.
God
Good
needs to
question.
travel in style, dude. It's not all about teleportation.
Yeah.
Dear God, I had no idea.
Jim,
It's
don't
also
ask
weird
the
that in
almighty
TOS
God.
we meet several
Ooh.
gods.
Right.
It's
I mean,
just
Q.
some guy.
Oh no,
Didn't,
gods are real. Gods are real.
yeah, didn't the Q have a civil war?
Gods are real.
Yeah.
Wait, has
Yeah.
it happened yet, or is that not
No,
going
that's
to happen?
happened.
Damn it! I missed the Civil War episode.
You could have told us all about the original.
Goddamn drove those yanks from Ticonderoga. I mean, Rebs.
Ticonderoga. That's one of the better brands of pencils.
Damn it, he figured
Ticonderoga
it out.
was a Ticonderoga was a Revolutionary War battle, not a Civil War battle.
Damn it, you both figured me out.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
That's right. I served with Washington at Valley Forge.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. It's when it was the biggest British fort in New York State, and I'm from New York State, so we kind of had to go over that in fourth grade.
I don't like New York. It's loud and noisy, and pollution's everywhere.
The other 90% of the state is empty.
Good point.
So,
Counter argument. I banish you to ice slip.
by the way, so I want to say I'm glad we get the Vidians again because they are the ultimate bad guy. So they were so lazy. They were just like bringing.
We need your organs.
We just need like glue makeup on your face, and there you
Voyager made the Borg substantially less scary, but they did introduce something just as scary as the original Borg.
True.
They made
What's that? The
Harvest
The
Vidians?
Vidians, man.
Harvest.
Yeah, but
The Vidians
they
are
also
horrifying.
defeated the Vidians.
what's scarier than losing your identity? Having your organs harvested.
We will
No.
harvest your organs, and they will service us.
No, but before you get your organs harvested, you get a lecture about how many lives you're going to benefit from your sacrifice.
It's only the first time, because if you resist, then you don't get the speech the second time.
Listen, this is all great and all, but when will we get, Star Trek talking about Cisco's dad's jambalaya restaurant?
There's no the jambalaya here.
Maybe the real jambalaya where the friends would meet on the way.
All Starfleet
Oh my
officers
god.
should have a disintegration pill where if they're about to die, they just bite down on it and disintegrate. It'll
You mean
dissuade
like they
any
got in the
Vidian
Star
attacks.
Wars of the lightning thing?
Yeah, except, disintegrate so they can't harvest the organs.
Alright, I don't know how to feel about Star Wars adding basically the Empire with cyanide pills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very Empire.
Just keep like rats around to eat your bodies. But anyway, the thing is though, I like how the Vidians are like a hawk or a bird of prey that swoops down, and then they're like cutting into the Voyager over here.
Also, things the Borg did.
There's two Kessers. You know what this means? Zoom in on Neelix.
This episode though chalks it all up to a big misunderstanding.
Wait, that shelf wasn't even closed. Anybody who walked in could have just seen her. It's just more open now.
So, stasis works like this in Star Trek? Like you're hyposprayed until you get the antidote hypospray?
No, this isn't stasis. She
You know,
literally
if you
drugged
wanted-
her and then gave her an antidote.
Alright.
Is the reason those phaser rifles so spiky is so you can stab the enemy if they get too close?
Revolutionary War.
Use them like a bayonet.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make a
Sounding
very good
fun.
bayonet, to be honest.
One of the reasons for a bayonet was also to finish them off after the battle.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
back in the day, muskets weren't particularly effective at. Yeah, you'd go around and just stick
They
them.
weren't
But
fast.
really,
They weren't that fast.
the bayonets, a lot of bayonets had like a plus sign shape profile, and that was to make a more grievous wound that would be harder
Can't
to treat.
stitch it shut. You're just
Mhm.
screwed.
Can't stitch it shut, yeah, or
Well,
triangular shape.
In those days, they didn't even have like anesthesia or surgical hygiene procedures. So
Well,
But
They
they
had
can
free
still stitch you.
didn't.
Like,
in other words,
Civil War,
if
they
you
hadn't quite
if you even just had
accepted
like a
the germ
regular
theory of
knife wound,
disease.
right? So if you even have like a regular knife wound, you'd probably just die of infection. There's not a significant amount of antibiotics to stop it.
So yeah, like I said, they hadn't quite figured out the germ theory of infection, but there was a couple instances during the Civil War that lent credence to it. There was a battle in a marsh that existed a bioluminescent bacteria that also produced antibiotics, and they found that the soldiers that had fought in this battle did not get infections in their wounds
oh, cool.
because they had this bioluminescent, like they thought it was like angels saving them, but it was bioluminescent bacteria that was producing antibiotics.
Something else really cool that occurred during the Civil War. Prisoner of war camps were so terrible, like conditions, that there first came like through journalism the idea that, hey, look, we have to clean up our facilities, and when you house people in by the hundreds, you need to have like the proper facilities for them. Otherwise, you get germs and they all die in mass.
Yeah. Well,
Janeway, shoot her.
My only fun Civil War fact is the King of Siam offered Lincoln war elephants.
Okay, the problem with
War
people using
elephants?
psychic powers as weapons in Star Trek is it always takes them several seconds to activate. They have to look at you really angry for a few seconds, and that's plenty of time for you to just get shot. But nobody ever shoots them.
Well, presumably their psychic powers can deflect or otherwise.
You could at least
prevent-
try, though. I mean, come on.
I mean, it seems like
Structural
this instance,
integrity.
if you want to get Janeway off her rhythm, you just got to tell her a bit of her future to disorient her.
You just make it up. She doesn't know. She has no way of knowing.
You're gonna turn into a French-sounding cat.
Hey, Kathy, your
Hey,
boyfriend's
oh, look,
gonna
it
break up
worked.
with you.
Shoot her again.
Shoot her.
God, Janeway,
Shoot
keep
her.
firing.
When they finally defeat her, she's gonna say, "My only regret is having bonitis."
You see how well the gun works when they actually use it?
Mhm.
That's true. She's like this immortal god being, but like a phaser
Gun.
takes her down.
Unkill, a phaser
Wow.
unkill.
See now the illusion. See, the illusion went away. See, it was
Yeah.
an illusion the whole time.
Cinderella
I
Oh my
suspect
God.
even God like
she's-
Ocampans are vulnerable to the Colt 45.
Snow White.
She's not able
Got
to
fire.
maintain the illusion while unconscious.
Yeah. The apples has a poison in it.
So what I'm hearing is chuck her out the airlock.
Yeah. Well, no,
Do it.
shoot her. And then chuck her out.
Shoot her. They tried shooting her. That didn't work.
No, shoot her more.
Shoot her.
Get a
Hey,
few
hey,
security
hey, hey,
officers in here and have them like disintegrate the body.
June 11th of this year is the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. May I
Well-
suggest a watch party?
I mean, you can do that. I got work, dude. Wait, do I? What day's the 11th?
June
Well, I
11th.
mean,
It's a Sunday.
we can go
I'll
around
find
the
work
11th.
Da, 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 da,
June
da,
11th is
So-
a Sunday.
Actually, that works out perfect. We could do it right after the
I-
Star Trek stream.
But this is a Star Trek channel. Do you know what that would mean? That would mean him being bogged down to watch every single bit of sci-fi media.
So,
Well,
what you want to happen is one of the episodes we watch to be the Voth.
Is that gonna line up for real? That would be cool.
No, it's
Did we already
not.
watch the
We already
Voth?
watched
Oh.
that.
We watched
But
it.
they're
Janeway
dinosaurs,
just, like,
though.
Sorry, but Janeway just we started a conversation
would've
with
been-
Kess. The doctor had a question, and she was just like, "Shut up, deactivate."
That would
She's
have
like,
been that would have been really
we have real
appropriate.
issues here. Mhm.
That would have been really appropriate.
But
if
is this season
the
1
Voth
Janeway?
episode-
Because I think it's season 1 Janeway.
Yeah, this is season 1, James.
Okay, so
yes,
that's why
this is-
she's she's an asshole to the doctor. Okay.
Oh
so
yeah,
That's
we-
why
have
she's
we
got her
had the
hair up in a
episode
bun?
about,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
she
yeah,
does.
yeah.
There we go.
So,
Look, we've traveled to the future.
right, because it
Oh.
makes
The-
no sense for contemporary Janeway to do that to the doctor.
the season
Oh, yeah.
1 Janeway still considers the doctor a tricorder that talks back. So
Yep. I mean, that's all the T-Rex was in Jurassic Park. So
what?
Computer,
A tricorder that talks back?
phaser, charged.
animatronic.
Yes, but
I
not
still wanna
like
eat that
in universe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
actually,
the doctor
those-
is actually an actor named Robert Picardo.
So those animatronics really held up amazing over time.
Yes, the
If we had
practical effects
CGI,
look
it
good.
would not have been as great.
Here's a fun fact that some people may already know. In the scene where the T-Rex is attacking the Ford Explorer that the children are in,
Mhm.
and it's trying to bite them through the glass, and then the glass collapses, and the children are holding the glass up with their hands and feet. That was not scripted. That actually was an accident, and they were
They
actually
actually
in
endangered the
terror and
children.
actually in danger.
You know, there was a guy in charge of watching over the dinosaurs. He clearly failed at his job.
Bill Tippett, dinosaur supervisor. What
Ah,
were
the
you doing?
director spared no expense making that movie.
Actual child terror in Jurassic Park.
I mean, children being horrified is always funny.
That sort of trivia is up there with Viggo Mortensen breaking his toe, kicking that helmet.
Oh, it's like
It's like,
everybody
yeah,
knows
he's
it.
actually screaming in pain.
Right.
It's that one thing you always have to tell people when you're watching that film.
Yep.
It's the race about who can say it first.
Well, I just learned in Titanic at the end when they're freezing, both of them on the water raft. It was like 0 degrees on that water when they were filming. So it wasn't just like makeup and frost.
Okay, we shoot the ship.
Actors used to suffer a lot more back then. Like, I'm just talking about the on-scene roles.
Oh yeah, freaking.
Mostly because of Rick Berman.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, that's behind the scenes stuff too.
I mean,
Uncle-
Kubrick was a nightmare with who's the lady in The Shining.
Kathy
Yeah,
Duvall.
that's true.
Yeah,
did-
Kubrick,
he
like,
did, I
tortured
mean,
her.
He did.
Well, he wanted to torture her, so he got a tortured
screaming
performance.
response. Yeah. Hey, look, they used the same shot of Cass ripping out bulkheads through sheer force of her.
Oh, we watched the
Imagination.
episode again when I wasn't paying attention.
She's
Here's
just
a fun
like
fact about
she's tearing up the bulkheads. And why does she need to go back in time and get the Vidians to fail?
So wait, she
Here-
needed the warp core to go back in time.
Chakotay is just so confused.
Yes,
So, hold on a second, hold on a
Chakotay is
second.
totally
If they-
out of the loop.
if they break the causality loop here by her not going back in time, how did they set the events in motion that created the recording in the
This
first
is
place?
why you don't
Question,
introduce
alright,
time
there's a
travel.
whole bureau-
Yeah.
There's the
Well,
bureau for
if you-
time travel.
I think at
Well,
the
they
end of the
want me to
episode,
like-
she just undoes everything.
So here's the thing. There's an episode of Doctor Who, and Doctor Who is all about time travel, but they do it in a way where it's like it's time travel, but it's just a premise to like be in interesting locations and places.
Okay.
But there's an episode, and I believe it's called Causality, and they do time travel correct in every like there's things that are happening, and like he finds
And they
a
tie
tool
in
right when he
perfectly.
needs it.
Mhm.
He finds a tool right when he needs it, and then later on in the episode, he's like, "Oh yeah, hold on a second. And like he takes the tool and he puts it where he found it, so like to make sure that it's there when he's
Yeah.
Mhm.
anyway.
Those time loops are fun.
They catch every little nuance, and I was like, oh, it's really they took some consideration. They did it really well. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
appreciate that.
perfect, but it's better than most time
Have you
travel
seen
plots.
Primer?
So no,
Primer's really
Is it
good.
an episode of Doctor Who or is it?
It's a movie.
movie.
Like an engineer wrote it. It's the most consistent and like well thought out time travel movie ever. It's really fun.
Right. It sounds like we need to bridge together these two conversations. So I'm going to bring up the fact that there is Star Trek comics where they meet Doctor Who, because we live in that time period.
There's Star Trek comics where Jean-Luc Picard meets Professor Xavier, which is really confusing for both of them because they're like, "You look like me, and I look like you," and
So
they get really confused about why there's mutants in the '90s and not a World War III.
I don't understand this plot point. I don't think a younger me would have been able to convince the current me of anything. I'd be like, "You're young, you're stupid. You don't know anything. You haven't lived through anything.
That's true.
So you keep your mouth shut. What I'm doing is best for both of us. You believe
I don't
me."
know about you, but
I would have a hard time believing younger me. You're right.
I would not. I would smack younger me down.
well, in this case, the older me has forgotten, or the older me, the older Kess has forgotten. The younger Kess still remembers what it's like, and so she's just reminding her. But I get your point. I get your point.
Yeah.
Which is why when they're like, we need to lower the voting age to 16 or get rid of the limit altogether, I'm like, yikes! I remember the stupid ideas I had when I was 16.
I mean, I remember the stupid ideas I had when I was 30. Like, I don't know that any voting
21, I was still pretty dumb when I was 21.
I mean, to be honest, I think we should have like an intelligence bar put on before you can vote.
Maybe. I mean, as long as we're playing that game before you could have
bad places, though. Like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. My next point would be we should have an intelligence bar on whether you should have children. But like the next,
I mean, yeah,
this is devolving very rapidly into eugenics.
Yeah, what was that Nazi episode? You know, look, things were just more efficient. Okay.
Listen, I have the solution to all of your problems, all right? I'm always right. I'm never wrong. There you go.
You know, whatever you want to say about...
So how about that weather?
Sorry.
We had a heat wave recently. It sucked because the heat sucks in general. How about you guys?
That's why I believe that weather must be removed.
Sorry, I'm not a fascist deep down. I believe
I'm sorry.
democracy.
Did they just say, Kess, fly home the
don't worry.
10,000 light years?
Shut up.
She's got psychic power.
Democracy is doomed because
democracy is not
mob mentality takes over.
Whatever. I mean, it just I believe in the fact that we all should have a say on what goes on.
Okay, 1 minute to Lifeline, everyone cue that up. But when you say things like, I'm not a fascist deep down, what I hear is, I'm a fascist on the surface.
So what I'm hearing is, you're a wolf in fascist clothing.
This is a fascist for the purpose of getting stuff done, apparently.
He just really likes the leather.
Socialism's a good thing, so we should just keep the socialism in-house, and that's called National Socialism.
Ryan's Edits YouTube channel officially does not endorse fascism, just in general.
Listen, all right.
I don't believe we're having this discussion.
I think
anyway, Lifeline, the next episodes, it's really good. It has the Doctor in it, and it has the Doctor in it. And it has Troy in it, and it has Barclay in it.
Oh, Barclay.
Yeah.
I love Lieutenant Broccoli.
He's pretty cool. Well, not so much in real life. He's big on fascism. But anyway, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, Dwight Schultz is kind of not great, but Barclay's great, though.
So this whole thing rhymed together. It goes together.
Look, if you like someone's work, never look at like their personal Twitter or Facebook. Don't look at anything personal for them.
I just don't think celebrities should even engage in any of that. Just do your job and keep your mouth shut. That's all you gotta do.
They have the right to be political. They're just people.
About people you like.
Yeah, but like it's just like you said. Don't look it up. Don't read about it. It's just I feel like it's just so much better for celebrities who keep that stuff to themselves and not have to deal with all sorts of fallout from one way or the other.
Some of them are pretty. There are some that are pretty cool, but there's such a large amount that aren't.
Most Trek actors are pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just some of
But
them are really
but
sketchy.
also, I think that the Star Trek demographic of actors is not exactly your standard.
Yeah, no, and nobody looks up to them for anything like that.
They're not They're not as famous as actual celebrities. Is
Right.
what you're saying.
But Reginald Barclay, he's wearing a toupee here.
Let's see, the Wikipedia for Dwight Schultz. Schultz has also written for Breitbart, where he likened liberalism to mental disease, and has similarly suggested that President Barack Obama's administration may intend to force sex reassignment surgery onto him and others. Interesting, Dwight.
Okay, so
so he's not. That's not even standard issue like far right.
Yeah,
that's
it's like Cookville.
Breitbart. That's that's next level. Wow.
So
But Reg
Go ahead,
Barkley,
Max.
though, is great.
Oh, he's the best.
I feel like people that are like super extreme in in either way have fallen down like these social media rabbit holes. They get into these like echo chambers, and they're just gullible people that have been preyed upon by someone like Alex Jones, who wants to sell them some type of goofy
Herbal
oil or
supplement
something. Like, yeah,
You're
it's
right.
just,
We should
I
ban
feel
the
really
internet.
bad. I feel really bad for some of these people who, you know, they might have started out being like more
just a
rational,
conscientious
reasonable
citizen.
people,
Even
and then
They
they get caught up in some of this stuff, you know.
But you know,
Yeah,
so I wanted to say something on Barkley. Barkley did the episode, which is probably my favorite, where the nth degree, where he becomes incredibly high IQ, like off the charts IQ, and
Sure.
so it's funny because I actually have a YouTube video. I don't really. This is like years ago, but where the notion of IQ is BS, because many times people invoke it like, oh well, you know, especially in like 4-channel memes and stuff. We're like, oh well, you know, you must be low IQ because of your.
Anyone who brags about their IQ is an idiot. This is the rule.
Yes. So right. So IQ is probably.
What's your IQ? Your review?
You know, I can guess it. All I've done is taken stupid online tests.
You can guess it.
But what I'm saying is, though, here's the thing. Okay, I've read.
He's very smart. You see.
Let me not. So let me just suggest this to you. Okay, I'm not good.
Are you familiar with Dunning-Kruger?
I would do very bad on an IQ test because I wouldn't be able to rotate a 3D shape in my head very well. But I've read okay, just being approximate. I've read, let's just say 8,000 books or so in my life. Let's just call it a number, okay? And maybe it might be more, maybe it might be less, but that's just a number I'd put on it.
8,000 books?
Probably more, but let's just not go there. So
8,000 books.
It's probably getting there, yeah. So
hold on a second. That's a book a day for 24 years. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but roughly. I've been reading since I was, I'm 36, so I do have 24 years under my belt. So
well, but
have you been reading a book every single day?
Like
I read voraciously. I can't even tell you. So okay, but here's let's bring it down to 5,000. Okay, let me be humble. Okay, so
no, we're sticking with the original number.
So the thing is, though, I know that I have a prodigious memory. I love reading, and I'm
wait. No, hang on. You don't get to say that when you're constantly saying incorrect Star Trek trivia.
What do you mean?
Because you'll often be like, "Oh, isn't that thing from the episode?" I don't have any specific examples because I don't have a prodigious memory.
I definitely don't have a perfect memory. I don't have a photographic memory, but what I'm just trying to say is, I do, I bring up random facts from all over the realm of knowledge, even in our Star Trek watch along, right? I'll be bringing up amphitheaters of ancient Greece.
We know about amphitheaters. Thank you.
So the thing is, though, I don't think I would do very well on an IQ test, but I do know I'm usually one of the smartest people in the room, usually.
My guy.
Present company accepted. Present company.
That's not
excluded.
Okay, let me shut up.
You made the entire stream cringe.
Present company accepted.
Let me
excluded.
Look, I'm not so great at socialization, but one thing I've picked up on is bragging about one's own intelligence never really works.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Doesn't-
What
people
I'm
don't
saying is
seem
though, I'm admitting
keen
my
on that
IQ
idea.
might only show up as average, but I do know that like.
No, I'm ending this conversation here.
Okay,
We're
let me
going
shut
back to Star Trek.
We're saving you from yourself. You're digging it deeper and deeper.
I mean, I know I'm a
So-
dumbass in front of you guys, but
The Doctor just got a letter from Louis Zimmerman, who's also the Doctor. Wow. And there's an
Doctor
iguana, and there's Deanna Troi. She was in the credits. Bit of a spoiler, really. They.
Surprise.
It's kind of a shame
Diana.
sometimes how they did the
Why?
credits. Credits really should be at the
Yeah.
end of a thing.
Yeah.
So
I
you
really-
could surprise people with.
I really
Like-
relate to Dr. Zimmerman. I mean, people think he's arrogant and like self-confident too much, but I think
he
that's
is.
that's an asset. That's not a flaw.
But I hated the
Yeah, that
fact
tracks.
that credits for Discovery had Michelle Yeoh as a guest star. It was like, oh, that means she's gonna die. The captain's a guest star. Yeah, she's definitely gonna.
She got
like,
better.
The fuck.
Oh,
Well, no,
what?
she
Who?
got-
Michelle Yeoh, the Captain
for 2 episodes.
Regina
of
Bartholomew.
Discovery.
I don't know. Who was she?
I don't remember her name.
In what? Discovery?
Giorgio.
Captain
Yeah.
Filippo Giorgio.
Giorgio.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Like I knew she was gonna die.
Discovery.
The captain be a guest star. Like, they should have just put her in the
Discovery
front,
just seemed like
as a regular credited cast member, just for the surprise.
Discovery seemed like a disorganized disaster.
I mean, yeah.
Discovery. My
I'm more-
thing, my view of it is that it always every season has a really strong opener, and then they just don't really know where to go with it by the end of the season. Like they only wrote the first half, and then they're just winging it.
They did decent. They
It was
patched that
very
up a little bit in the most
good.
recent one.
If they want to have a
fourth
good
season
television
just didn't
series,
have
they need to
Any good
essentially.
ideas?
Who's eating like
Sorry.
chips or carrots or something?
Yeah.
So they need to know where the whole show is going from start to finish, like from the premiere to series finale. They need to know what they're gonna do and like have a trajectory and stick to it and not do filler and side stories.
I don't know if I go as
Oh,
far as
filler-
to series
filler is fine.
finale,
Filler is
but
not
at
a
least
problem.
season.
They didn't for
Not every
TNG,
show has that.
DS9, Voyager.
Exactly.
Like,
Well,
it-
DS9 had the had
episodic. Episodic is fine.
the.
But they
I'm
should-
just saying
yeah.
that if they want cohesion and they want it to be good, and they want to do serial television, they should know where the show is going to end up. And not knowing where the show is going to end up, even in that season, is a huge detriment. And the problem, I think, with
third
Discovery,
season definitely failed from. Yeah, they should have had a better idea for how to end it for sure.
Discovery just kind of was like, oh, we have a galaxy-ending threat. We have to just defeat it. And then we defeated it. And then the next season is we have a galaxy-ending threat. We have to defeat. And it's just like it's just rotate the threat, like change the name of the threat.
No,
It really
no.
it was
Third
rinse and
season
repeat.
was like everything went to shit, and we need to rebuild Starfleet to figure out what happened. That was much better. It turned out they had no idea what should turn out to be the threat, and that so it fell flat. But
Again,
At
it
first
had a
it looked
really
good.
strong opener, and then it just kind of it turned
really
out
did.
to be a
Now,
child.
the problem-
and it's okay.
The problem with the child that screams. The problem with Picard
worst
is every season acts as that the previous season didn't happen.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
So it's
visioned-
like Halo.
Dr. Zimmerman called Catherine Janeway Captain Jane at a conference.
Close enough.
Very, very unlikable character.
Oh my
But sorry,
God.
you guys were talking about Discovery.
What?
I'm just saying that Picard every season Picard acts like the previous season didn't happen, and there is I'm not giving any spoilers, but the reveal in the latest episode was kind of a letdown for me based on the previous season.
It was a little bit weird. Like, really? We're pretending that nothing is true about the previous? Yeah, that was
Okay,
right.
Let's
There were some weird
let's
lines.
cut that off there just to be safe. But yes,
Okay.
Do you guys want to talk about my
But yeah.
intelligence?
No.
No.
Okay. So you know what?
The talk about intelligence reminds me of Yoda saying, "Wars do not make one great. Books do not make one smart."
Very true. So what I really like about this episode though is you know we're in the current reality of AI, and so it shows the problem of like one man or one person who programs something, and like that's his child basically, and he hates it, or the thing hates him. You know, like there's like a parent-child relationship where like you know teenagers hate their parents. So one day though, we're all going to be creating our own robots or perhaps AI intelligences, and are we going to have this problem?
I'm just looking forward to the day where I can become an AI intelligence. Get rid of this meat body.
No, I want
Man.
someone to take notes for me, to take dictation, proofread,
You
edit
have
my
that
YouTube
already.
videos. No, I want a robot doing all of it. I'll just tell him or her to edit and take out all the ums when
I
I
need an AI to keep me organized. That's what
Yeah,
I.
Okay,
That's
that's what I
want.
want.
I want a secretary.
I
That's
was
what I
about to
need.
comment
Really
about
badly.
I was about to comment about it being weird that they had a CG fly, but then I remembered that the fly is literally CG within the context of the episode, so it's fine. It's a
It's really hard.
holographic
It's
fly.
really hard to hire a trained fly in Hollywood on short notice.
I don't know, because if you look at the bloopers for Discovery Season 3, there were flies everywhere. They kept landing like on the actors and on the camera lenses.
But not
Really?
trained.
Something really interesting about this hologram is
But the
that
thing is, you don't need to
flies.
train them. You can just wait until one inevitably lands on it.
she's an older model of hologram, and apparently, like Dr. Zimmerman hates the older model of holograms.
Only
But
the ones that look like him.
only the ones that look like him because they were like rejected by Starfleet or something. And she's kept around though because she actually comforts him. But I think so she's pretty crucial to the episode,
Yikes.
as well as being eye candy.
Wow.
Okay, Rick.
Let me shut up.
Yes,
Eye
throw away the
candy.
salad.
She's in the
Destroy
least suggestive outfit in the entire series.
I mean, look. Anyway, let's just say, okay. Look, I need someone to type my
Oh, he looks so happy to
books
be here.
and
He just wants
proofread and edit.
approval.
He's disgusted. He's so disgusted.
Why would Lewis even care that he's from Voyager?
So, like, the AI tries to tell him, hey, look, I've grown beyond my programming. He's like, why do I care about you?
Aren't there... I find it interesting that Lewis Zimmerman is the only person in all of Star Trek who calls him Reginald. Nobody else calls him by his full name.
No.
He's
That's
just
true.
Reg.
Even his boss, his supervisor, who's always shutting down his program, is like, Reg, I think you need to go home to take a break. So this is the part that he hates. The fact that, like, he said decommission the EMH, and Starfleet said, no, we'll just make garbage holograms.
So Lewis Zimmerman said he was treated by a Mark III and Mark IV. He was never treated by a Mark II, presumably because they didn't want to bring back Andy Dick.
But here's the thing, Doctor's been sarcastic since day one. So yes, you did program him for sarcasm. You programmed him with your own personality routine.
This looks like it'd be so annoying to film.
Yeah.
It's not even a split screen. Previous Star Trek, it's always just been like they're facing each other in a hallway, and there's a clear division in the middle.
But I can see a fairly distinct line around Zimmerman as well. Where
A little bit of fuzz.
Yeah. In fact, I
Yeah.
can see
You
it
know,
around
like,
the Doctor.
if you're just watching and entertaining yourself with the witty banter, or if you're watching, you know, in the 90s over the airwaves, you would not have noticed at all.
Now here it's not split screen. This is just a different dude.
Yep.
I'm glad we don't get this much eye rolling from our doctor.
He's got Jupiter syndrome. He's got that Jovian flu.
You know, there's this really funny
Bullying.
That's weird, dude.
So this guy just makes holograms for fun.
Deactivate my iguana.
How dare you? Okay, look, the fact that the iguana speaks is weird, but come on. You can't just deactivate a man's iguana. Everybody loves Leonard. Is he named Leonard after Leonard Nimoy?
Possibly.
Quite possibly.
So this guy's the worst because he's like, first you're a doctor and you're refusing medical help. So you're kind of dumb.
Oh, what do you know? It turns out I am under his control.
That's racist.
It's quite it's a bit dangerous of the doctor to say that he's not under the control of the person who's literally probably the most familiar with hologram technology in the
He's just
entire
trying to help his
galaxy.
dad.
Yeah.
How did you not pick up on that immediately that it wasn't human? Maybe this is why we don't want to be treated by an EMH Mark 1. You can't even tell. Jesus, doctor. How did the doctor get... The doctor got here by being transmitted through the Midas array as a compressed holographic data stream.
Which doesn't make a lot
And that's
of
all
sense.
you need to know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're saying that they have to keep. They can't, send all that much data back. Turns out, entire holographic matrix compresses just fine.
Well, they've sent a hologram to Voyager. They've sent one back. They've
How would a holographic fly spy work? Do they have to sneak in and install the holo emitters before? Does it have a tiny mobile emitter?
Also, how can it perceive as well as?
there are problems with this.
How is this better than just a regular bug in a room?
Well, yeah, just why is this better than a camera?
Why is it a literal bug-in?
So the thing is though, this is
so
right.
he killed a holographic
Guest star?
fly
with his visual acuity.
Troy.
But here's the thing. So Robert Picardo is such a great comedy actor that's carrying the whole episode, and so that's what we're supposed to enjoy, not worry about the fly.
Well, yeah.
The plot always helps, though. A tighter plot is less distracting.
No, because before he left the room, he said, "Finally, I've done something." Like basically, he's gotten nowhere with the person who his personality is modeled after. But oh wow, he killed a fly. So that's one thing he managed to do.
I could refer you to Counselor Genzo. No, I need someone who has guest staying power. I need to boost the ratings, Counselor.
You know what's funny? In the latest Picard episode, someone says,
No.
Just as Counselor
Troy's
professional abilities are seriously under question.
That was funny.
Okay. So, Admiral Hayes. Oh wait, I think I know who Admiral Hayes is. Admiral Hayes is that guy who in Star Trek First Contact.
Right. He tells Picard not to bring the Enterprise E.
Yeah, specifically though, that guy.
Yeah,
that's Admiral Hayes.
The first thing he says in First Contact, he says with a very strong New Zealand accent, and then he turns American.
Oh yeah, that guy.
We want you to patrol the neutral zone in case the Romulans decide to take advantage of the situation.
Yes.
I forgot about Admiral Hayes. I honestly thought he was only in First Contact.
That's his only job, to tell Starfleet vessels, don't come home. So after this, we get like a hologram of Reginald Barclay hijacked by the Ferengi. They use this plot twice. Well, the other way. We send our hologram to the Alpha Quadrant. They send their hologram, intercepted by the Ferengi, to the Delta Quadrant. In the gravity of a star.
That seems like something Starfleet would care about, Janeway. Kathy, I mean, they literally committed treason. They're just going to let that go? Well, it's Starfleet, so they might have just let it go.
No, but you have a ship full of ex-cons, so integrated into your command.
They're not ex-cons. They're definitely very much current cons.
Yes, they have not been. Whether they're not even cons because they have not been convicted.
I guess they're pre-cons.
So they're just
pre-cons?
Because most of them haven't actually been tried because they're in the middle of an active war.
So they made a station out by stacking a bunch of Galaxy-class saucers on top of each other?
Yeah, don't worry about
it. Is that what they did?
Terrorists.
Jupiter Station. Looks like they stacked a bunch of Galaxy-class saucers on top of each other to build this.
Okay, so this is a little bit of gender bending going on.
Circles.
I don't know how
gender bending.
This got past Rick Berman, but that's the Doctor.
This was clearly a Rick Berman decision. Look at that alien.
I was gonna say.
Okay, that's how it got past.
She's in a latex bodysuit.
I was gonna say.
With gorgeous hair.
I mean,
it looks difficult to wash the hair. That's. Oh, hello there. Careful, remember your blood pressure.
But you can die of high blood pressure leading to a heart attack. This guy is, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy drops dead.
Oh, he reactivated Leonard.
That's the thing. So imagine like you created your own PC and the things like I care about you. Stop.
Yeah, if my computer started telling me that it cared, I would rip out the hard drive and smash it.
But what if it's a 3090 that was talking, not the hard drive?
I'd rip out the 3090 and well, that's not how graphics cards work. But I'd rip out the 3090 and smash it.
You'd unscrew the 3090 and smash it. Okay. But
if my computer starts talking to me like it understands stuff, it's gotta go.
That's exactly the attitude Dr. Zimmerman has. He's like, look, let me show you. You know, your job is to process information, not tell me what to do.
I forgot that the Doctor Troy.
Well, we have Reginald, so we need to have Troy because.
Well, Dr. Zimmerman's clearly the one dressed in medical blue, right, Troy?
There would be.
Well, he is a doctor.
Louis Zimmerman, PhD.
So, but that's not Dr. Zimmerman. That's the
pinching her wouldn't have told her otherwise.
That's true. That's the thing. The holograms feel pain too.
No, but also he would have been able to feel the hologram.
Right.
Like pinching demonstrated absolutely nothing to either party.
Right.
I wonder if Troy considers him a
where you pinch yourself awake.
I'm here to psychoanalyze you, Doctor.
Yeah, why don't you receive medical help when you need it?
The doctor in the background is just like.
So, fun fact: we have nanotechnology today, and we're using it to modify virus cells and fill it with antibodies to existing diseases.
The words you are saying are being translated into the brain as "we are the Borg."
But
we shall add your economic distinctiveness to our own.
Star Trek is actually. So I read a really amazing article from the London Review of Books. So the original transistor was just a pneumatic tube that like transistors are binary, 0 and 1. So eventually we figured out there's something called semiconductor material, like silicone, where you can stack these transistors on top of each other, and you don't need as right. And sorry, silicon tubes, silicon transistors, and so you can stack them upon. And now we can stack millions upon millions to the point that the one your iPhone uses, the latest one, is like 2 nanometers across, which is about half the size of a coronavirus virus. So we are so amazing at nanotechnology right now. And the only country that produces this is really Taiwan, which produces 90% of microchips
Now,
in the
when
world.
you say we're so amazing at nanotechnology, I feel like that's saying we're so good at computer graphics in the age of the Nintendo 64.
No, but okay, we can stack transistors are okay. Back in the day when you used to have
a little room for improvement.
In the 1950s, a radio transistor maybe had like half a dozen transistors in it, and now we have millions of transistors stacked into your iPhone chip. And so we have undergone a technological revolution before our very lifetimes.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention, comment really, when Troy was telling the doctors like, "Oh, you'd hesitate to let some 100 years ago engineer tinker with you. That'd give you pause." But I mean, I don't think the doctor has those standards. He lets Harry Kim tinker with his program. I think it's fine. Literally everybody on the ship has authority to just mess with his programming.
I think it was also
Cheering up a hologram? Do you guys think you would get along with a duplicator hologram of yourself?
Probably not.
I have to kill them immediately before they kill me.
I don't have the patience to deal with people like me.
A hologram of myself, a duplicate, no.
But you would be able to play co-op with people of the exact same skill level.
I could never stand someone.
Fun. That'd be fun. That'd be good.
We'd never win because I'm not very good.
I could never stand that level of condescension from someone else.
But they could tell you how smart they are.
Imagine being accused of something by yourself and not being able to like win the argument in any way possible.
Yeah. Like when you get called out on being a hypocrite. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and you just go,
So, having pretty unanimously agreed that that's a terrible idea, never make a clone of yourself. When they started cloning people in TNG, and then Riker came in and shot them, was that murder?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
It was more like
they hadn't woken up yet.
It was more like a second trimester abortion.
But yeah, but Riker didn't kill his own clone.
Well, he did, though.
Well, he killed Pulaski's, but that's still murder, though, right? I mean,
he killed Pulaski's and his own clone.
That makes it so much better. Okay.
So his own clone stole the Defiant.
No,
that was
different clone.
That was the Thomas Riker
transporter accident.
Transporter double.
I was thinking of the one with the society made of clones.
Oh, you mean the one where they married the Irish?
That was season 1 stuff.
I like that.
Yeah, the one with the Irish stereotypes. Yeah,
I love that episode.
Oh, she's eating fudge. Hey, I wanted to issue a correction. Somebody on this show said that Brent Spiner hates cats, but apparently he doesn't. Someone else does, because that was a Trek trivia question on one of the Ready Room episodes hosted by Will Wheaton. I didn't get to see the answer, but it wasn't Brent Spiner.
Wait, what? How would you know who it was or was not if you didn't see the answer? What do you mean?
Because it wasn't one of the 4 multiple choice answers to the question. Brent Spiner.
What the question? Who is the only person who hates cats?
No, but like it was a writer's gag or whatever. That's why they put it in there, because they knew that they were allergic or they hated him or something. So, by the way, the hilarious part here This guy is doing his last will and testament, and this is like part 85. So he's doing an audiobook of like his final thoughts. He's so self-absorbed that like he thinks his memoir
his?
will.
This is a will.
This is the will, but a will does not have to be like 80 pages.
Does
I
if
mean,
you
he
have a
could
bunch
just
of
leave
stuff.
his entire movie collection to Barkley.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing.
Can
though,
you
so he's
will
like,
stuff to a hologram? Is she
But who
property?
gets Leonard?
he's also like
Yeah, that's Leonard.
expressing who was the only person who understood him, who was the only person who appreciated him. It's will is just a legal document. I want my movie collection to go to my nephew.
Is he going to leave the iguana to anyone?
Well, he's leaving
The
the
iguana
facility
dies
to
with
the.
him.
No, he's leaving the facility, so I assume whoever gets the facility gets the iguana. I love how
That's a weird lamp. I don't think I like that.
I actually have a lamp
The
like
lamp
that.
itself is glowing.
The glass, yes.
I love how Leonard just doesn't care.
Well, what do you want him to do? He's an iguana.
Because I know, but he doesn't like
No,
touch the lizard. He's just sitting in front of
it's
this
true,
like
though.
dead
I had
can lizard.
I had a friend in college. She had a pet iguana for the longest time, and like you would think that the iguana just like comes up to you because he knows that you feed it, but she's like, oh no, the iguana would like comfort me and sit on me and just like welcome me when I came home, and she made it sound like it was way more than just like a feeding relationship. Like she actually had a bond with the iguana.
Well, isn't it interesting where lizards don't have the part of their brain where they experience, what was it, love and whatnot?
Yeah, I would.
Unrelated. Is Jupiter that blurry in real life? Because that was real blurry.
I mean, it's a gas
It's
giant.
a gas giant.
But
Of course, it's blurry. It's all gas.
There's no.
Feels like a very
defined
different
boundary.
kind of blur. Low resolution Jupiter.
Also, very clever of them to use the Voyager holodeck program as a way to decrease set costs for the episode.
Oh, this is totally a trap, Doctor. Don't do it.
Never trust a Zimmerman, be it doctor or telegram.
Zimmerman kind of feels like an evil name. Am I getting that from something? Is there an evil Zimmerman video game character or something?
Or sounds vaguely Nazi.
Well, that's just because it's German.
Fair enough.
Wait, so funny enough, there's something called the Zimmerman telegram in World War I, where Germany was plotting to attack the United States with Mexico. And so once this diplomatic cable was revealed called the Zimmerman telegram from the German ambassador to the Mexican, saying let's attack America and end this war, that's what prompted a lot of outrage in America against Germany.
I figured it out. Zimmerman is a robot slave hunter in Fallout 3.
Hence why I said I never trust a Zimmerman, be it doctor.
There was a World War I telegram.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yes. Yes, that is how he feels about you.
All I do is holograms.
Just deactivate her, turn her off. What's the problem? That's strong language for Star Trek.
That's racist.
Savage. But generally, it's okay for people to be racist against Vulcans in Star Trek, like Dr. McCoy, also known as Leonard, is super racist against Vulcans all the time, every episode.
So what I'm hearing is there's no way that there could be a Ferengi in a Klingon court.
What?
Why?
You know what? Good question.
Oh, don't be mean to Barkley like that. Barkley's a good engineer. No, Doc Zimmerman, the whole point is that you won't survive. That's the whole point of the episode. You're not surviving. You just wrote your will 2 scenes ago.
I think he means survive long enough to finish the job.
But what if he doesn't, though? Then we have half a doctor.
I only got rid of your appreciation for classical music. So you won't listen to Black Sabbath anymore.
Reset the factory default settings.
At least English.
Now you can't run away as I deactivate your subroutines one by one.
Now you'll be forced to hear my new rock opera.
Of course he doesn't look well. He's dying. Jesus. I also noticed on that shot with both of them that he was looking a little blurry around the edges. Yeah, he's a little blurry right now. No, if you give him any of those things, he's gonna stop being a fan favorite character. Everybody loves how rude he is. Stop calling
Besides,
him
he's learned
Reginald.
some of those things on his own.
Wait, why is he taller than himself?
Would you not?
I think
Like,
Zimmerman's
the
just
image
kind of
of
hunched
yourself.
over.
Oh, but look, he's trying to stand up straight. It's just not reaching.
Maybe that's one of the changes he made. He wants people to think he's a little bit taller. Wait, they're just recycling the B'Elanna Torres trauma plot. This was her whole thing with people making fun of her for being a Klingon.
Listen, all right. At this part of Star Trek, they did all the ideas they wanted to do, but it is weird they're recycling their own material from their own series. At least this
See,
one
they
doesn't bring up
even use
the
the word
idea of
barge,
genetically altering
like
your
Klingons.
child. Oh wait, no, he is genetically altering his child. Never mind.
Yeah, it's the same plot. But with more fun to watch actors.
That means the fleet size was 676 at the time of the Mark Ones.
Yeah, why only 675? Why can't we have basically infinite?
Well, no, 676. That means that specifically those programs, there were 676 Starfleet vessels equipped with an EMH.
Well,
at some point.
Yeah, well, not just vessels. It's also supposed to be for space stations.
Oh, yeah, stations as well, I suppose. Yeah, quite possibly more than one per station.
Yeah, the whole idea is it's supposed to be in places where there's not enough manpower. It's not safe enough.
But they never ended up giving DS9 one.
Yeah, that backwater at the edge of known space. They could have really used it.
But they worked on them. They worked on EMHs at DS9, but they never gave DS9 an EMH.
I haven't watched Picard. Did they ever show up in Picard?
No.
So what happened to get people to
Well, no, there are other E blank H's that show up in Picard.
Yeah, there is an EMH in Picard.
It's ECH and an emergency navigational hologram and a couple of other.
But
I think there was a medical one.
There's no Robert Picardo.
Yeah, that's
it was all based.
That's true.
It was all based on the one actor that was already in the show.
Like all the accent he could do.
Like classic Star Trek tradition.
A hologram for.
Oh God, don't do that trope. God, they did the trope. They finally get fed up with it after an obscene length of time, and 2 seconds later, it's done. Kill him. Reg sabotage you, take him down.
Lieutenant Berkeley deemed you a subspecies and tried to kill you.
I'm sorry, Reg. I'm afraid I can't let you do that.
Thank you for nearly killing me. It made me closer to my dad.
Yeah, no, he got over that immediately.
He's going to get sent back to Voyager, and the whole crew's going to be dead.
Yeah, he is their only doctor.
Yeah,
the only surgeon.
Because Paris is just going to be sitting in sickbay. He'll be the last one alive going, well, couldn't save any of them, but I managed to save myself.
Yeah, it turns out we passed by this cosmic rays that gave everyone diabetes, and we had no insulin.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
They did run into Wilfred Brimley, though. Unfortunately, the mail-order diabetes medication wouldn't get there in time.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what The Rock is cooking in Star Trek. Diabetes.
Insulin?
Yeah. Where is The Rock? Has that happened yet?
Yeah, that happened.
Damn it. I miss all the goofy ones.
Well, that's what happens when you're not here for like a year. I don't know what to tell you.
2 years, I take pride in.
2 years.
In all fairness,
God, we've been doing this so long.
I generally forgot this was a thing.
I really hope Star Trek Resurgence, if it actually exists, because it was supposed to come out this month, but they haven't said anything about it.
Star Trek Resurgence?
Yeah, there's a Star Trek adventure game that allegedly exists and was supposed to come out this month. Looking a little sketchy. But anyway, if it does exist and comes out, I really hope that we get things, classic Star Trek things, like hallways end in a matte painting. If they reuse the same character model twice in a scene, they're both kind of blurry on the edges.
It would be brilliant.
That'd be great.
I hope
there's a different transporter effect for every ship. Except for
people's character models are a little inconsistent with the uniforms.
The uniform changes every mission. Never address it. It's just a different uniform every time a cutscene happens.
And then every now and then there's multiple uniforms at the same time.
Oh yeah, they've updated the release date to May. It used to be April.
Oh, hold it. It'll be great. And the ability to wear... Wow, goddamn it. What was that weird Star Trek skirt thing?
Oh,
the dress uniform?
The dress uniform. Everyone's got to wear the... There's an option for anyone to wear the dress uniform. It's like
what about just the early TNG thing?
The skirt?
The skin.
I'm referring to like the short skirt we saw the one guy wearing. I was like, just have everyone be able to wear that.
It was supposed to be for everybody. I mean, imagine how freeing
you can choose your uniform.
Cooler you would be.
I mean, if you look atomic wise, it makes more sense for a man to wear a skirt and women pants than the other way around.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, so I'm looking at the Star Trek Resurgence Twitter, and apparently the release date they gave on March 30th is May of 2023. So I'm still very concerned that we still don't have an actual release date this close to the alleged release. I'm not convinced this game exists.
Considering the current state of many games, I would say the longer the wait, the better, to be honest.
But it's like 2 weeks away, May. They should have a release date.
Well, the end of May isn't 2 weeks away.
Oh, it's going to be on Epic Games? Lame.
I fear the Chinese communist plot.
Really, the release date is a year after the first release date when it comes to Steam.
I mean, that's what I did for Outer Worlds. I'll do it the same.
There are ways to get access to games, yeah.
I'll see you guys next time.
Taking off?
Yeah. Bye.
Farewell, friends.
Okay, yes. The stream is over. remember, never look at a celebrity's personal anything, but especially not their Twitter.
Hey,
It's
who
a
wants
bad
me to ruin
idea.
Dr. Seuss for you?
Except their OnlyFans.
Why would you say it? The stream's